Hi everyone, welcome to my latest video review. It's actually been a really long time since I made these, and actually was thinking about making these videos again for a long time. Just didn't have the time to do them. So before I continue, I do want to apologize. I saw some really nice comments from people who've seen my videos throughout the years. For some reason, I never got any notification from YouTube. I usually get email notifications, and that's how I know I got a comment. But for my own videos, I wasn't getting them. And today, by chance, I stumbled upon my channel. I saw all these comments, and it kind of bummed me out. I was like, this is so awesome. I just wish I had seen them at the right time so I could comment, so people could have seen that I saw their comments. But it was unfortunate. But you guys should know I was never intentionally ignoring them. It just happened, unfortunately, that way. So let's continue. So this is gonna be on the Power Rangers Time Force Mega Pack. I have actually done this review before of the individual figures a few years ago, but this is actually on the Mega Pack, so I thought, you know what, I'll just do this review again. And these figures are a little bit different than the ones I had before, and I'll get into it in a little bit. So before I go on with the figures, here's the actual box. It is like beaten up, that's how I got it. These were actually secondhand figures, so someone had already like displayed them or played around with them, but they're in amazing quality. So here's the front of the box. So on the top we have all 7 Rangers featured, and then on the bottom we have the Time Force Rangers, the generic photo with Time Force Power Rangers. And if you guys take notice, it's the same lime green from 2001 that was Time Force's colors that Bandai used, which goes perfectly with the futuristic theme. And on the back here we have the 7 Time Force figures and the 6 Vector Cycles on the other side. And there's something I missed from the Power Rangers figures, where all their weapons could combine. That's also a really nice feature we had. And I'm actually gonna go a little bit closer so I can show this to you guys. If you take note, you can see that the Ranger helmets have been lit up with some kind of light, which made no sense because these figures are the exact same figures with the light feature removed. So I'm not sure why they featured the same box art. So let me position these figures properly so you guys can see. And let me zoom in a little bit so you can see the figures better. That's a little bit better. So I do apologize for the quality. I haven't used this webcam in I don't know how long. So that's the best I can get it. So this is the Quantum Ranger here. So let me show you guys the back of the figure. I'll do a close-up too. As you guys can tell, there's no button, and even the helmet is of a solid black. The light-up figures, the black was actually transparent because of the light-up feature, but this one is like fully solid. And these are basic figures, so they had like basic articulation. So you could move their arms by the shoulder up and down, and the elbow also had a little bit of articulation where you can move it up and down. And then you had the glove here, which had a 360. And then you had the legs here, so you could move it up and down. And then from the boot you can move it up and down, and it had a 360 at the knee there. So that's pretty much it. It didn't have too much articulation. The heads, you can move them, which is weird because these don't have the light up feature, so you would think that you could move the heads because of the lack of electronics. And of course, Quantum Ranger was the only Ranger to have this holster. And here's a close-up of his morpher. Not too sure if you guys can see because the black kind of camouflages it. So that was the Quantum Ranger. These figures had really nice paint jobs back then from Bandai. That's when Bandai actually cared about their merchandise. This is the Quantum Ranger there. I'm not going to go through all of them, only the male and female ones, because the articulation is pretty much basic. And let me actually show you, these are the accessories the Quantum Ranger came with. This Quantum Defender in Sword mode. And also his Quantum Defender. Their basic weapons weren't colored, they were just a basic gray. You can put his Quantum Defender in his holster here. Like so. That's the Quantum Ranger right there. And Time Force figures, it was actually easy to fit the weapons in. Figures nowadays, it's kind of hard to get the weapon in there because the glove is closed in a bit too much. But with the with these Time Force figures, they actually went in really nicely. And there you have it, the Quantum Ranger. The next one I'll show you is Pink Ranger. Or the female figures have the same kind of articulation. The legs were a bit awkward though because of the female figure. I guess because it's kind of, that's how the legs are. You can't really move them too much, it's a bit stiff. Same articulation, so put the hand up, down. You can actually go all the way around with the hand, or same thing with the elbow, up, down. And the glove has 360 as well. And the legs too, you can move it up and down. Like I said, it's a little bit stiff on these female figures. And the boots can go up and down, or 360 like so. Even the female figures, they don't have the, you can't move the head. As you can tell, no button. And one thing I want to touch up on, I actually don't have a comparison, but they made the Pink Ranger helmet a little bit different. Because in the light up figure, it was actually, the visor was nicely made. The curves were actually very pronounced. It's very hard to actually show you because I don't really have the Pink Ranger picture or the actual figure to show you guys. But I kind of modified her visor in this one too, which is weird. So that's the Pink Ranger. And before I continue further, I want to show you the cannon where their vector weapons form. It's pretty nice and quite detailed, so it looks very nice. I'm going to take them apart so I can show you the individual vector weapons when I get to the Ranger. I just put it together so it'll be easier. I can just show you guys. So this Pink Ranger's gun, it's nice. Has some nice detail in there. And let me get Pink Ranger's Chrono Sabers. These are the Chrono Sabers that each Ranger came with. And they were molded into the specific Ranger. Like this is Pink Ranger, so you can kind of see the heart. And they also separate. Or you can put them together. You can actually check out like a video review of my previous Time Force Ranger figures from way back when. And you guys will see the difference in the Pink Ranger. So that was the Pink Ranger's accessories. We have the Blue Ranger here. I like the blue that they used back then. It was not too dark and not too light. It was perfect. And here's the visor and chest there. And this is the weapon the Blue Ranger came with. I think his was the biggest out of all of them. And his Chrono Saber is this one here. Or I think that one's red. Let me double check. Yeah, that one was red. So the Blue Ranger, it's like a triangle, like it had a bit of curved edges there. And that's the Blue Ranger there. And here's the Yellow Ranger. One thing I wasn't too keen about was the females in these figures, because the females were like kind of bulky. I mean, I guess for Katie it would be perfect because Time Yellow or Time Force Yellow is anyways tall and big, as opposed to the previous females. Like, let me get a female before Time Force. Like, as you can tell, the females before Time Force were actually smaller and petite. So I was kind of used to that kind of figures, and then randomly they just came up with these figures again. That's just what Katie looks like again. No button. If anyone could actually fill me up on these figures, like, are these like UK versions or like what's going on? Because nobody seems to know. Oops, let me drop that there. And here's the Red Ranger. And yeah, that's what he looks like. And here's the Spectre weapon. Nicely detailed. Something the Lightning figure Red Ranger came without. It would be nice if the Lightning figure would have come with this. And here's Red Ranger's Vector weapon, or the Chrono Sabers. It looks very similar to Blue, except the ends are straight and not curved. Wish they had given us nice transparent Chrono Sabers and if it was colored here, but that's Bandai for you. And finally, the Green Ranger. What he looks like. And I do apologize, I didn't show you guys Yellow's weapon here when I showed her earlier. Not too fancy like the Blue or Red Ranger's weapon. It's very basic. Green Ranger's weapon, same. It's the same. And what he looks like. No button, nothing. He looks pretty nice there. Unfortunately, in this set, it was missing. It didn't have Green Ranger's Chrono Saber, but Chrono Saber for Green Ranger pretty much looked the same. So this is yellow. I do apologize. I don't think I showed you yellow. It's just curved on both sides. But Green Ranger's was like a diamond on each side, so it would have been a little bit more pointed. And finally, the Cyclobot. Cyclobot, you can't really do too much with it. I guess it just has a leg movement, which is very stiff. I'm not going to really move it too much because I feel like I'm going to break it. It doesn't have any elbow joints, and it's like both hands move at the same time, and it comes up with this button here. I guess like in the show, because they move their arms up and down a lot like a soldier. And this one you can move its head and down. That's basically it for the Cyclobot. And here's the weapon for the Cyclobot. It's nicely detailed. So there you have it, folks, the Power Rangers Time Force figures. They're actually very nice because earlier in the day, the Bandai made amazing figures, and the size was perfect, not too big, not too small. As you can tell, the detailing is spot on. They haven't messed it up. Like, what bothered me about the Time Force Lightning figure is that the chest. I hope they fix it with the other Time Force Rangers that they release. As you can tell here, let me pull up the Bandai original figure. The triangle is supposed to go all the way through like that, but here, let me move these so you can show you guys better. The chest triangle is too small, and I know they probably did it because of their articulation, because Lightning figures have crazy articulation. But still, I would have preferred the pieces kind of extend over here, and then stopping it there. It just does not look right. But they did a great job with the Chrono Sabers. This is how I kind of which the Bandai Chrono Sabers looked. But I'm not complaining because they went above and beyond and made the vector weapons kind of combined. One thing I'm curious about is how he would look with the B weapon from the original Bandai figures, if he could even hold it. I feel like he can't because his hand is too small. Oh, actually, look at that, he can actually hold it. He actually doesn't look that bad. I mean, the vector weapons are supposed to be like humongous and big, but it goes with him perfectly. So there you go. There's my review for the Power Rangers Time Force figures. I do plan on doing more reviews, either on morphers or figures, or who knows what the future holds. Thanks for tuning in for my review, and as far as the cost of these figures, prepare to pay a lot. I actually came across the mega pack that was kind of cheap. I can't even remember. I think it was like $150 or $200. But these figures, new, individually, they actually do cost quite a bit. Like I saw just the males, so I think it was just red, green, and blue. I don't know if Quantum was there. All four new in packaging for $350 US. So like people are like trying to get as much money as they can for these figures. So I would say wait out for a good deal. Thankfully I did, and I got one. And you guys can get it too. Like these classic figures, they go for a lot. So that's my review there. And if you guys have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to ask. And I'm not going to do a review of the Red Lightning figure for Time Force. That would be a separate review. I just brought him in because I want to kind of do a comparison there. And even with the, if you kind of put him with the 90s figure, he almost matches up. He's just a little bit taller there. It's my finger, and that's how much bigger it is, I mean. One thing I don't care about the Lightning figures is that because of the crazy articulation, as you can tell, the legs kind of look wobbly and everything, whereas it's the Bandai figures, where it's more like symmetrical because it doesn't have too much going on there. But yeah, so that's my review, and thank you so much for watching. And I do promise to visit my channel more, so I can check out whatever comments I have, so I can respond to you guys in a proper manner. Thank you, and have a great day.